One. Good morning. Welcome, Rotarians. Welcome to a regular Wednesday morning Rotary Club of Hudson meeting. My name is Tom Tobin. Sergeant at Arms. Happy to see all your shining faces this morning. And let's see, do we have any particular guests this morning? I see Barney Kemper hiding in the background. Hello. Everybody say hello to Barney. Morning, Barney. Let's see, we are going to start out with vocation by Right Reverend Fred Warfield.
Who said that, Coach? James, so Patrick, from the book of Daniel. Pretend like I'm Daniel up here, okay? Let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for this time together with these men and women of this club. And may they go about your day, your presence in their heart. We pray for people of Cuba that had to evacuate sometime today for Hurricane May and their protection over them. And for the men and women that stay afterwards, enjoy your foods, flavor, let that food nourish the body. Really bless this community, this country, and great part of it.
Good job. And you want to say anything about Jamaica too? That's okay. We're all thinking about our part.
Well, to be honest with you, on the way here, I listened to the news and I didn't hear Jamaica, but I assume all those islands are bad. So we pray for Jamaica.
And we've been watching wigs, Weather Channel. Jamaica got us. Oh yeah, really bad. And then so it's going to lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance for Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty for all. And the four-way test, the things we think, say, and do. Number one. Number two. Number three. And number four will be beneficial for all concerned. Tom will give you an update on the Hudson High School sports. Hudson has home football game. I looked at mention one thing because I talked to our athletic director last night. He said, this is like one of our best athletic seasons ever. All the kids, almost all the kids are not in the park. James and I went to the girls soccer game last night. They beat Mayfield 8-0, which gets you the mercy rule, which, they had the game right there, about 8 points. So it was really something, but all the sports. So I think that's all that I have. So let me just welcome our president. Keep coming.
Thank you, Tom. Morning, everybody. Welcome to our weekly meeting. Fifth week of month of October. We have a very packed agenda today, so I'll get started. And to start things off, it's really a very sad duty that I have to perform this morning to inform the club that Bob Camp's wife, Sue, passed away last week on the 20th at age 80. Bob and Sue met while they were in college together at the University of Akron. They were married in June of 1969, so that was 56 years. They lived in Hudson the past 55 years and raised 2 children, Kevin and Carrie. From them, they have several grandchildren. Sue was very active in the community and participated in many of the Rotary events with Bob throughout the years. So first, we can take a moment of reflection for Sue, for Bob, and their family. And also, we have a card out in the dining hall. If you could please sign that card, we'll picture for Bob. So we just have a moment of silence, please. All right, thank you. Toys for Tots, this is the last week that we are collecting for Toys for Tots. So if you have any toys for children or any Story donations, please make sure you get those to Terry Borbeck, by the end of the week. It would be greatly appreciated. So we have a very special presentation to start off with, Joe Avella. Joe is heading up our, endeavor for the exchange. He has a video presentation, wanted to take a few minutes to talk to us about that initiative. So Joe, come on up, please.
No, what do you want me to be dealing with? I know we have mine to help set it out, so.
Okay, and we wanted to give you an update on the youth exchange program, where we are, and what's going on with that program. Lucas, could you run that video, please?
We challenge teams globally to step outside of their comfort zone. We expand the world by entering a new life. Most of the time, the opportunity to explore new locations, immerse themselves in different ways of life, and create impact in regions far from home, all while forming lasting relationships. And making countless memories. Returning home with endless stories to share. Because a moment can be the experience that lasts. Rotary Youth Exchange. Find out more at rotary.org/youth exchange.
Excuse me. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. Okay, next slide. So, this program has been around for over 80 years. Some 8,000 students a year participate, not all, of course, in the US. And, there's over 100 countries that participate in the program. So we are a part of it. Let you know about how this thing's organized. We're part of the Ohio Erie Multi-District Organization. This is a separate 501c3 organization. And it consists of districts in Canada, Indiana, Ohio, Florida, Carolina. This is the organization that does primarily three things. One, it ensures that we're in compliance with the Department of State regulations, establishes training programs, and then this is the organization that goes to the international conference and negotiates with other organizations in foreign countries about how many students we can bring in, or we will take send them over there. Next one. So there's three parts to the program. There's the outbound program, which is the traditional 9-month program where we send a student abroad for a full academic year. There's the inbound program. We bring in a student from a foreign country attending us on their months. Then there's the shorter term program, which is an 8-week summer program, cultural program, that and that's a family to family program. We're going to talk about each one of those programs. And this is totally volunteer. It's handled totally volunteer by Rotarians, Rotary clubs throughout the world. I want to let you know what we've done so far. Thanks to Tom Tobin and Tom and I went back in July. We visited with Mike Miller, the principal of Hudson High School, about his biennial program. We met with Jennifer Reese, the communications director for Hudson City Schools. We've also met with the guidance chair, language department chair, and of course, we brought this up to the service learning teachers. We have 2 flyers that I'm passing around. One of those flyers we distributed through a system called the Peach Jar. We distributed that to every parent of
Hudson High School student, back a few weeks ago. And this also, this flyer was posted, some kind of an electronic bulletin board at the Google Drive that each student can see. And there's a flyer about the short-term program next Friday. Students. Next. So the outbound program, this is our traditional program. This is valued at about $24,000 compared to this program. Value of this program compared to some of the private foreign study programs like AFS, valued at about $24,000. It covers room and board. It covers any tuition or fees, and it covers a monthly stipend. The student family here would pay for airfare, medical insurance, administrative fee, any personal expenses, travel expenses. The Rotary Club in the foreign country will provide a counselor. It'll provide a set of that host families, and it will cover a monthly stipend and provide and the qualified applicant has to be between 15 and 18 and a half years old on day of departure. So it's tough to get a student. That's it really is. The kids don't want to leave Hudson, but this could be used as a gap year program. If the student is young enough and is not sure about college or whatever, it could be a part of a program for a gap year. The next inbound program. So the inbound program is when we bring in a student from a foreign country, lives here with 3 host families for a full year. The host family provides sleeping room, study area, it provides meals, assists with transportation to school, and it provides support guidance. We ask that family to do the same for that foreign student as they would do for their own children. So if they pick them up from sports, they provide box lunch or take lunch at school, whatever they do for their child, we ask them to do for that foreign student. Our club will provide counselor. We will train counselor. They'll provide a monthly stipend. It'll pay for any school fees that that student might have, and it will provide support as needed. And of course, the district provides a number of events, activities, and an optional travel program. Now, I might mention that we have committed to the district, and we've notified Hudson High School that we will have a foreign student next year. So, and that's what foreign student will aim probably, if that names sometime in April. Next. This is a photo of the inbound class for this year. They met back in early mid-August at the Rotary Youth Camp in Akron. Bob, I guarantee that guy up there in the middle with the red shirt, that's Bob, Governor Bob. His head's up. If you look at my phone, you're in on my phone. So these students this was their first program. Went to the youth camp for a weekend. And the other counselors and the youth exchange officers from other clubs were there. And so this is the first time that they met these students, but they'll have monthly activities where we'll bring these kids back together again for support. They're going to get into a Guardians game, they're going to go to a Cavs game, ice skating, we'll go to the district gala. You know, they'll have a number of an event almost every month. They can attend with the new friends that they've met. Okay, next. The short-term program. This is an interesting program. It's a summer program. It's a family-to-family exchange. It's not academic. It's strictly a cultural program. This is where our student here selects a country, and then we match that student up, girl, boy, with a student in that foreign country. They connect in April or May, they decide on their travel plans. Our, let's say, girl student here will go to France for 3 or 4 weeks and live with that family. And both girls will come to Hudson and live here 3 or 4 weeks. The family pays for airfare, medical insurance, Rotary administrative fee, and any travel that might be involved. We do have an applicant for this program. A young lady who's junior wants to go to either Japan or Taiwan this summer, and she's in the application process. So sometime in the next couple of months, we'll have her come and speak to our club, and then summer, when her exchange student comes with her, we'll have both of them live to our club. So next with this. So how can you help? This is a club function. So we want you to support and talk about the program this holiday where you meet young people in events or activities or social gatherings, and talk about the program. We may come back and ask you to use your network to find some close families back in probably in February or so. If you want to learn more about the program, the district website has a lot of information about it. And of course, when we do have a foreign student next year, we want the club to support that foreign student. And thank you. Luckily, that would not be us because those are not those who reside in Hudson. But that they would require tuition. They would require that foreign student pay tuition. So that's why it's tough to get. I have a good friend of Walsh, and we can get organized with that school. They have, incidentally, they have enough students that come in and they pay full tuition from China, someplace else. Just Walsh does. Any questions? Thanks, guys.
Thank you for the presentation, Joe. It was very informative. I'm excited. I remember when I first joined Rotary, we had the exchange program going full force, and it was always nice to meet young individuals from another country. And I think as much as they learned about us, we learned a lot about them and their culture and their country. So really excited that this program is coming back. I want to thank you and Marilyn and Catherine for your work on this. So thank you.
Lucas, we talked about your grandmother, and I'm afraid you're gonna send you overseas.
Yeah.
Great, you might have to say where you're going, so.
You're supposed to wait till after the meeting, we let nobody, I need somebody on the AV. Oh, my goodness, no.
Oh, my God, no, bring it out.
Moving on. If I can ask Rich Warfield to come up real quick, to talk about the fall fundraiser, and we are obviously well in the fall. We've been outside, and obviously you had a very chilly fall day, so tell us about fall fundraiser, Rich.
Yeah, with the help of my partner over here, Marilyn, and Patrick, formerly in the popcorn family. We're changing the menu or the offering this year. We found out that discovered popcorn, they push anymore. Patrick and his team have been good about buying us popcorn, those little plastic cards, but they didn't even change that in the organization. So that is kind of fallen off in the last few years. Marilyn and I and Patrick, some other people, our minds together, trying to figure out what would really work. And the answer, we're just stepping outside our comfort zone. And we're gonna still do the floor arrangement, which, to be honest with you, the cost is $25.99, so it's about $26. We would like to make $14 on this floor arrangement. Some of you have seen it in the past, they're very pretty. It's nice to take home with the mom or wife or whatever, you go out to the plate. So we're gonna make a $14 mark on that. And then I inquired about the roses. As you know, the rose's life span is not as long. You know, especially water, so, so, you know, much to my surprise is that we get 2 dozen roses for $19.99. So we talked about split in half and just selling 1 dozen, but I think the agreement would just sell 2 dozen. We don't mark that up $35 and $15 off that. There's a sign up list out there, you know, all the other stuff. And of course, we're still allowing you to do the $100 donation, but we really like to see the participate flowers, and it's really what it's all about. So this is a Tom Page's thing, I'm just carrying it on. You have the club, have the Maryland passion. So we're trying something a little different. For those people that haven't attended the foundation board meetings, you know, we just want to, you know, when that starts to die off, we got to figure out something new. We got to freshen it up a little bit. Or freshen up with just flowers and the donation. So it's out on the sign up sheet. Our budget is $3,000. Like, we have exceeded that budget every year. We'd like to be closer to 4 or 5. One after the beer garden, but that's too good of a event. Try to beat those revenues, but beat it. Let's beat it. No, that's a service / fundraiser. So you're out there working hard. This is just a fundraiser. But anyway, that's what's going on. And the dates are November 29th is the last. 21st, my bad, is the last day you can sign up. You're allowed for 3 weeks, you know, do something. And then I'll sick Gene Shield after you collect money. And then they'll be delivered on December 10th, right? That Wednesday, December 10th. So make sure you show up. And top that Maryland has volunteered as delivery. There'll be a small delivery charge for Maryland's time and my time. But we will deliver. We will deliver. We want to. Last thing, Bob, need to spread the word. District. All right, Senator will send one out. Benjamin's in here. Yeah. Foundation, Cluster Rotary Foundation. That's our 501c3. And last but not least, Marilyn, she's always thinking outside the box. She's such a smart woman. She bought 6 extra floor arrangements last year, I believe. Sure, and I think she didn't ask for any money back, as which she is, and we sold them to people here in the inside, you know, the facility. Right. And now we reached out even further. We met with Pam and Scott. They're leaving a sign-up sheet. Plus, going to circulate Arnie, beautiful for Susan Morgan. Suzanne, don't tell right this. But no, we're certainly in this area here. So we're just trying to reach out and get more about participating. I think that's it. Did I miss anything? No. Yeah.
Great, thank you, both. For your vote on this project. All right, next up on the agenda, it is Fine Day. You all thought you were going to get away with not having to deal with Fine Day, but Andy showed up.
There's always a balance on the last person in. Okay, so I'm assuming it's for 4 people, even though I was the last one in. So, all right, I guess we'll start on. Then there's also Rich, did you find the pen? Find the badge? I can't see it from here. It's still $5. It doesn't matter. Okay, so anybody else with pins and badges? Marilyn, you're very dapper here. You're looking very dapper. Joe is out there. Okay, so Jay, what do you got? Okay, maybe. So, in this group, everyone is an exchange student. Okay, anybody who's an exchange student? I mean, Barney, you did. Where'd you go?
I didn't go, I had to come here.
Oh, you had to come here. Fantastic. They'll toss you down. Okay, I went as an exchange student to Germany, and I go. It is one of the best things going on. I mean, it is just amazing. So, and they get this dollar too. So, It's election time. Okay, who's got a sign out in their yard? Okay, Joe does. Okay. You got one by the front door, you got. Who's got more than one sign? Who's an overachiever? Who's got more than one sign? Either I or two, maybe that's it. It's not fair. Okay, so BB wins. All right, with the letters. Okay, so unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to pull up on my phone. And Marilyn, we're not getting a little list of birthdays anymore, are we?
Oh, yeah. Related to Rob.
Okay, so who's got a birthday this month? Who acknowledges that they have a birthday in the month of October? Nobody acknowledges that. And nobody acknowledges that their anniversary is this month. Okay, so you got your anniversary this month, fair to death. So let's go for the good stuff, the happy news, okay? Who's got the happy news? So, I'll start over here at this side. My gosh, is anybody awake? Is anybody there? All right. Right there, right there. The guy's smiling, standing. Come on, Ron. What's your happy news this time? It's going for Ron. It's going for Ron. Oh. No, I don't get anything. So Marilyn's got something. All right, fantastic. Marilyn's got something. All right.
Last Saturday, I took my granddaughter Maria to see Dracula with the Cleveland Ballet. If you've not been, you need to go. This is really an amazing organization and some of the best performances that I've seen in that genre. But it was a hoot. It was a lot of fun. I'll tell you, Dracula just really brought it on.
That's great. Super.
I've got several things. Let's see. First of all, my wife, who was the assistant tennis coach of the high school, she and I went down to the tennis tournament this couple of weeks ago or so, and our sophomore Emma Lou ended up taking second in the state on singles, which is pretty amazing. I think she was told, I think she participates in an organization trial, so we get a chance to see her later on. So. Also, my son Rob has taken a new position with Armstrong World Industries down in Hilliard, Ohio. So he continues to that. Well, actually, this will involve him moving out of the house. So, which that's big stuff. Right? I mean, he's been gainfully employed for a while, but it's big stuff when they literally move out of the house. And I mean, so many things. There is one cool thing. We did a ribbon cutting on a outdoor learning pavilion that was for the other day at the school, which I'm so proud of. We were basically able to do that private contributions, except for one grant that we got from the state of Ohio Department of Natural Resources. The vast majority of money. Private contributions. It was beautiful to be great for the kids. Very proud. What's up in the building? Oh, so you may know this. Remember there was a red barn out front here up until last fall. That the structural elements from that barn are what we use to make. So we reconfigured the cut some a little bit lower to the ground so that it would be shaped appropriately for pavilion. You gotta go over to see it sometime. It really is an amazing place.
Not the humble guy, you have a lot to do with that. I mean, do fruition.
Yeah, it was all me. It was I was literally holding Tim for someone's shoulder, dragging him off.
Isn't that true? You hear about this?
Well, no, I mean, currently apart. Windows currently apart, you know, like where we're sitting now, our first head director of grounds was a certified arborist. He really drove that project, accomplishing that. So
That's a great. Anybody else? Oh, Joe, it's really nice to see you. Could you introduce yourself first?
Oh, yeah. You can call me your excellency.
Wait. I want to see Mr. Green first. Okay, all right.
It's Abraham Lincoln that I stole from Barney back here because I got fat. So I have two kids. I saw this Karl Marx sign when back in his car out there, so no. Anyway, two things of happy news. I come back from Atlanta where I saw Phil and Sally Warburton. I worked with a long time member of this club, and so they said greetings back to you. It was good to spend a few days with them. When I landed in Atlanta, I get off my plane and I'm making my way through the terminal and I get to the main lobby of the terminal. As I'm going, I think, I need to run to the men's, so I turn and I go this to my left. And as I'm doing that, the police are bringing this man in custody. And he looked very, very angry, very hostile. I'm like, oh, bad for him. What's going on in your life that make you so angry, but apparently it was something angry enough to get arrested. And so the police were ushering him right past me, so we could have reached out and touched, you're that close. By the time I got to the Warburton's place, I discovered that this man had showed up at the airport with an AR-15 and hundreds of rounds of ammunition. His intention was to shoot people in the terminal. But this family had found something suspicious, called police. They didn't know where they could find him. Somehow found him at the airport, which is kind of amazing story itself. And so he'd come in to kind of scout out the place to see what the police were, I imagine, or whatever. And as he turned to go to grab his rifle, he was arrested there. And so if he had not this really had problem, we would have met under much different circumstances. We had crossed paths in a different way. So we don't think about it. You're smart. A bunch of airplanes this week, but that wasn't the recent one, sir. So yeah, happy news in that way. Happy to see you all. Now, they'll keep taking on me, right? Absolutely.
This one is worth $5.
And by the way, the money we're raising today is going for the Mr. and Mrs. Claus. We actually took the uniforms, or the costumes over to Riley's. And Jeff Riley he went through carefully and he's actually going to clean, and he doesn't think we even need ones just yet, which is wonderful, but still, it's great since they have never been to one before. It's a very expensive process, and we're grateful for Jeff Riley on that. He's doing the hand washing on the aprons and the hats and stuff like that. So I think we're going to really see a nice two new uniforms. So,
Okay, we don't want to take up much more of Bob's time than he's having to speak, but this is kind of happy. Starts out sad, but ends up happy. And for our essence, back in the room, where you forgot to say that God had his hand of protection on him in the airport. So it is good to think.
Everything you said.
My story has to be about, but so anyway, the good news is that the money that just donated was $42 of money to the first home industry. They didn't come like us. Okay, so I'm giving it back. Right. The sad / good news is that dear friend of mine, Tim Penix, lives in Hudson. His son Cody, P-U-L-L-E-N, married his daughter, 2 young kids, 37 years old, had a problem with his colon. It's been going on for weeks and weeks and weeks. He's gone from 220 pounds of pure Andy Moore's salad, workout guy, down to 169. And then he's been leaking in the backside, blood. So it turned out when they finally got an emergency surgery last Friday down at UH, thanks to UH, the doctors, once again, thanks to the Lord, they removed his colon at 37 years old. The doctor does feel that they can still, I guess, what your intestines are 6 to 12 months, so there's hope. This young 37-year-old father we're begging inside of his body for a while, and he's so thankful to the Lord he's alive, to spend this family. 40 home.
Perfect, thank you. And find anything you need? Oh,
Just have to do this. I've been playing ball 80 years. Started when I was 5. And this year, I reduced my average score by 4 strokes compared to last year. And I'm probably playing better than I did 25 years ago. Of course, 25 years ago, I was working a stressful job. It's hard to go out and relax and play good ball. So this is a banner year. I just hope I can get back next year. How did you do it? Great. Yeah, shot my age. Yeah.
all right, we got everybody thinking, kind of.
Just one last one. I just want to thank everyone for having me here. This is the part that I really enjoy. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Bob.
Well, I'll tell you what, and be respectful of Bob's time since he's here to present for us today. When we have our just open announcements, if you want to share any additional good news at that particular point, we can certainly do that. I want to thank everybody for their good news and for their contributions. And thank you again, Andy, for being such a great fine master, and Kelly for being the honey, getting the cash and all that. So thank you both very much. Round of applause for. Right, so with that, we're gonna bring Bob Oborn up to the stage. Bob is our district governor, and he is also a member of the Stow-Monroe Falls Club. So he had to travel a long way here to come and visit us this morning. So we're excited to hear from Bob about his vision for this year. So take it away, Bob.
Well, thank you very much. I'll tell you what, this is by far the best thing that I get to do this together. The Rotarians that we have in the district, and it's really all Rotarians, it's just a pleasure for me to get out. And you can tell this club is so new, so it's it's hard to get to talk, but it's a little bit of urging that you guys can do good job. I have one question. Does anybody know what the district governor does? I tell you what, my sole purpose, and the purpose of the district, is to support the club to be successful. So everything I do goes to helping the clubs, in my roadblocks, but help facilitate the things that they need to do. And that's also what the district. So one of the things about 4 weeks ago, after another round game, I was sitting in our living room. I looked over at my wife for 38 years. I said, honey, in your wildest dream, did you ever think I would be district governor? And she looked over and she goes, you're never in any of my life. The first thing that I wanted to talk about was this year is the 36th anniversary of the council legislation voting to allow women in road. And first of all, I don't know why it took so long, but I don't know if anybody knows, we have 377,000 women in road. And over the past 10 years, they probably brought in another 75,000 members. So, the effective women in Rotary is profound. My favorite movie is It's a Wonderful Life. I watch it like a train that they don't watch. So if everybody remembers Clarence and Gordon Bailey saying, I wish I could never before. Well, I kind of use that analogy of what would Rotary be like if women were not. And I tell you what, it would be a sad picture. We would have less than 1 million members. We would have a lot less clubs, a lot less districts. Think of all the projects that women have. Think of all the great things that clubs and Rotarians have done that wouldn't have happened with the direction that clubs go in. For just all the good things that we do. So I look at a 4-way test, and I look at having women in Rotary, and I tell you, it's kind of hard for, I guess, my generation to think why wouldn't you invite the other half of the population into Rotary? But I think it's a great thing that we did. We're really lucky this year in Rotary, starting District 6630, because we have 8 clubs that are celebrating their 100th anniversary. I mean, that's just tremendous. It was done, back in 1925, the district had their skates. Usually, like Cleveland and Kent and Akron would stake out the suburbs and say, no, you can't start a club there. That's our area. Well, Rotary International and District Governor Skaggs said, no, we need to be able to grow Rotary, so, anybody that wants to have a club, yeah. And believe it or not, he started 17 clubs that year. There's a mark to trade. But the clubs that they're celebrating this year are Bedford, Cotton Hall, Beardsville Hybrid, Jefferson, Lakewood Rocky River, Painesville, Ravenna, and Wadsworth. And Wadsworth just had their celebration October 14th. I mean, it was Jim Tressel was the speaker. It was a great celebration. Cotton Falls is having theirs November 16th. This is the one I like. Does everybody know where Jefferson, Ohio is? It is so far out Snowville. Well, they're having their 100th anniversary party January 17th. So they'll probably leave to get a hotel room towards the end of November, and then kind of wait it out. Then Lake Rocky River is January 30th. Painesville is April 25th. Bedford, they're doing something a little bit different. They're going to celebrate their 100th anniversary at their big burn off that their city does, and there's a big splash club every year. So that will be July 17th to 19th. Ravenna did theirs last year because theirs was right at the cusp, and then Garrett still has everything. So when I ask everybody, look at District 6630 and Rotary in general, the big family. And, if your cousin or your uncle has a big birthday coming up, we all have to go to the party and celebrate. So if you look on the district website or if you're part of Facebook, I know you'll see my post. We'll be posting a lot, but I would hope if you have the time to see those days, about and celebrate those because 100 years big. And poor Terry Speck, our 5th governor elect, she doesn't have any clubs next year, so that's why I'm kind of giving her benefit. What couple of things that we do as a district is develop a future leader. Just like a succession plan of a business, you have to have a succession and you have to have a plan to develop leaders, train leaders, and get them to the position to when there's an opening for president or that they're ready and able to do that. And we've done it 2 different ways, but actually we're doing it ways this year. The first way that we did it is Rotary is broken up in 36 zones. So when you look at a district, our district is 1,600 people. Well, zone 30 and 31, which we're part of, is 11 states. It's 1,500 people and about 60,000. So once a year, they get what's called the zone. We were lucky enough that it was in Columbus, so we didn't have to pay the air. So with an award that we got last year, funds up, where we had the most Paul Harris Society members one year, we won $5,000. Well, we took that $5,000 and reinvested it in our membership, in our future, in our foundation, and we sent six Rotary members, 3 assistant governors, and 3 emerging leaders down to the zone. Now there was 5 past international presidents, and the people that go to the training, there was 15 different training sessions that were there, and everybody that went to the zone event has said how great it is and how much their view of Rotary expands. A lot of times when we're in a club, we know Rotary just by looking at the club. Or if you go to the district, that expands a little bit more. When you go to the zone, it can expand more, so it's a great thing that we were allowed to use money that we make because of all of our members stepping up to the Fall Heritage Society. To be able to build that foundation for our kids. Well, the second part is our president of our club. And I look at our president-elects. So every year, I know everybody knows that we have all my effects. We call them training, the learning, they're supposed to get my footing. But it's usually in March. And but I'll tell you that last year, we had 57% of our clubs that attended. It cost $750 just to go there for the hotel and to registration. So that's nothing else. You buy all the water, well, then that's $750. So there's a lot of people, especially some of the younger generations, trying to get up and step into these roles, but that's a lot of money. So the district, remember the point, well, the district still collected, and it really didn't do. So the bank account left more money, and I want to use that money to give back to the club to be able to help train and build that infrastructure. So this year here, for any big club that sends the president-elect to all of our house, we will give that club a $400 stipend to help pay. Now, not the smaller, our club, we pay for, our president-elects to go. A lot of clubs do that, but a lot of the smaller realize that. They have a total of 10 members. So this will hopefully help get those members to be able to go to the president-elect's training. And when they go to that, it's also just like a lot of great training sessions. It's really, really good to step on those people, for their coming year. So again, I want to reiterate, my core purpose is to help make clubs successful. That's also the district. There's about 100 people in one of them that not only contribute to their club, but feel enough about Rotary that they also contribute to the district ways that they can. So I want you to know that I'm not saying, hey, I'll do anything I can for you, because I'm not smart. But I'll tell you what, I got 100 people behind that offer. So if there's anything that you ever need, problems, roadblocks come up, please contact me. If I can't help you, I will send it to a person who can. And like I said, I've got really, really good. So the next part that I wanted to talk about is by so each year the district governor gets 2 or 3 different topics that are really near and dear to this part. And I've done the same thing. I have 3. And my first one is membership. Membership, if we're not growing, we're dying. And for the past 5 years, Rotary's really kind of stuff. We've had a downward trend. The good news about it is that trend is stabilized. I think what you're going to see this year here is hopefully a net gain of about 25,000 members in Rotary. And that's a lot better because, we've lost several 100,000 Rotarians. So the membership, and I think we're going to step we just got, we're lucky to have Bill Smith, our meeting pastor, as our membership chair, because I think Dale is kind of a guru when it comes to membership. He's an engineer, so he's a small chunk guy, and he gets in and finds out all the great things that'll help membership. But the second thing we've done is instead of doing kind of like a lecture like this, we changed that both with our district conference and with the workshops on to be more of a roundtable stuff. So Dale did the membership summit just this last Saturday, our second one that he did the first one last year, did a great job. And last year, what we had successful clubs that had grown membership, be a part of a panel, and then they were the ones that talked to the other members that were attending and told them what they did. Because the last thing you want to hear is from a past district governor or district governor telling you all the things that other. So it really worked out well that they could give their ideas, and there was a lot of back and forth. This year here was more of the same. But I'll tell you what, part of our problems with membership also. You know, we lose, I think we also said 7% of the new members lose in the first year. So there's that change from joining Rotary to becoming a Rotarian. And I think once you become a Rotarian, once you have that then you're there for good. But the people that have just joined Rotary, they need to have a sense of belonging and a sense of that they're part of something bigger. And that's what the summit's been about. One of the things that we're going to do this year, and we've already started, is to put that phone money. We'll the charity spectrum and say I'm spending all the money. We took $9,000 to a pilot program that said, listen, any of the club that have a membership, and have an idea, a plan, and then have a way of measuring the results, then we will match on $2,500 of what they spend on membership. Northampton Top Valley, they just did theirs, and I think theirs, they got about 5 members. Mentor is actually going to be doing one in December. The one thing that I'm trying to tell everybody is we only have $9,000 in that fund. So once that fund is gone, money's. So if Hudson wanted to join with Cluster or Cluster and have a membership, that money is out again. That's your money. It's, you know, I want to make sure that money goes to what it's supposed to. And I'm hoping that by helping the clubs, we have to fund an event like this. And the Stow-Monroe Falls Club, we did it 2 years ago. We rented the VFW, we had food brought in, we had games, we had a short presentation, everybody had a couple of drinks. And that year, we brought in 15 net events. Last year we did the same, or last year we did the same thing and brought in 5. So it's really a great way to be able to do it, and that's what the other folks are doing. So my second one, every good one. But it's great to get such a great time. I just have enjoyed Rotary early because my daughter's 36. It was absolutely one of the greatest things that she did. And you know, just like Joe said, it's a $24,000 scholarship. But I'll tell you, for one of your children to go overseas, different country, a different culture for a year to learn is a life-changing event. And I'm hoping I can use you guys as a model, because that's it. You're doing is, you know, it's not for the cost. You know, for a family, it's not free. There's still about $8,000 cost for the registrations, the visas, and the transportation. Well, it's a lot better than $30,000 to pay. And then he brought up the second part, which I think is great, is, you know, if your kids would never left the house, and all of a sudden you're thinking of sending them away for a year, you know what? That's a big jump from the start to the finish line. So the short term, I call that our interchange plan, is a great group to where your child can go to a different country, somebody will come back to that child, they'll experience a month there, and then that child or your family gets to experience having a foreign student in your home. The other thing that we're going to do probably in January is we're going to have a youth exchange summit kind of built around what, Dale does, churches, is we're going to have a panel of host people. You know, so the family, three families, the flexible there, when you bring your youth escapes in, we'll have them there, be able to discuss what it was like. The second part of the book, we'll also have, you know, the ones that set their kids away. Because I think it's a big unknown. The more positions take away from it, the more active families will be to use it. So, you know, keep an eye on that, because it is something that we will be doing in January. And the health really hurt about 15 students in your district. Yeah. Everybody kind of get back to those numbers, because it's just a great program. I know, you know, if we can get kids able to use it, it's a life-changing for them. So, you know, we're going to make sure that everything that we do, and I've got Kevin Warner from the Diamond Club out the chair. He's an outstanding person for it. So, I mean, you guys already got an angle, but as a lot of questions from other clubs in the district, I just have to tell them, if you guys can ask questions, makes it a lot easier for me. So the third one is open topic. It's on addiction prevention and treatment. My son was addicted to heroin about 4 years. Now, realize, my wife and I were married for 8 years. Our kids went to local school, ate dinner at the table every night. They went to Catholic high school. But I'm saying, addiction is triggered in the brain and stuff happened. And it was the worst time my family ever went. The good part about it is, you know, my son has been in recovery now for over 4 years. He got married, just bought a house. And the bad part is, he has been sending money. So that's, you know, a better part. But in 2023, we had 100,000 Americans die of opioid overdose. And to me, that's just unacceptable. And I wanted to find out what Rotary can do to be able to help the fight against addiction. We've got a lot of great organizations in our state. And what I'm going to be starting is a directory, and it will be on our district website of vetted agencies that can help anybody in your family from whatever addiction they have. And there's a lot of different things. There's the addiction itself. But there's also so many grandparents that are raising kids because their children are in addiction. There's an organization out of Falls called Keys to Serenity. And it was started by a lady whose daughter died with overdose, and she's raising her grandson. So what I want to do is I want to, number one, put this directory of vetted organization. So if there's someone in charge that is having an issue, at least they can go to this directory, and at least they know that they've been vetted through organizations that do just that. And then the second thing that I want to do, and you'll see something coming up soon, was a Keys to Serenity. I want to make sure that whatever way possible, that we support for it. Because I tell you what, they do a lot of work. Those of them are all volunteer. There was just a fundraiser in September for Keys to Serenity, and we had a good group of charities there. There's going to be a toy drive coming up in December that I'll send out my newsletter. That what we're going to be doing is they do a Christmas thing with the parents, bring your children in, the children go into a different play, and the parents get to shop. They get to take 2 or 3 big gifts per child, and then there's one person that goes to the Dollar Tree and buys all sorts of stuff. So each of these kids, the last year, they get 250 kids that got to go this through the generosity of the donors. So what I'm hoping is I post that, and I'm hoping you see it in your heart to be able to help these organizations out. And in return, they will help us out by giving us information So if anybody has this information about group organization, you can share that with me. I'm going, hoping to have the directory done, anyway. It was supposed to be the end of October, but guess what? October. It's not done. So it looks like I'm gonna be big December. I've been assembling it, and then I'm working with Cheryl Moore, who's gonna be putting it on the website. The second initiative that we're working, that we started working on in March, is a disaster recovery. And, I looked at it, you look at the water game down to the, well, we have a lot of little hot pepper. We have a lot of natural disasters. And I think it's just something that Rotary is part of. So I think what's the white night, South got into that. You find out there's a lot of big issues and there's a lot of insurance issues. So when it's taken, we really wanted a part of launch this beginning of the Rotary year, but we had to work through those. We actually found what we actually was the umbrella policy that will take a couple of our groups. So probably right after the beginning of the year, Mike McDonough, who is a 4-year first responder and was the fire marshal of Stow-Monroe Falls, is the chair of this. We're going to start out on fall and what we're going to do is we're going to first work on extended power. And all we're going to do, for the clubs that want to do that, we're going to have the clubs be fire and the police department find out the list that they already have, so that we can take that burden from them while we're doing more important stuff. And before there's a disaster, what we have is either a police or fire and a Rotarian, when you start stands for us yellow vests, that are going to take them out of the heat that are home now and say, listen, there's extended power. A Rotarian is going to come out and check. So what happens if Rotarian comes out of the field? We call 911. We are not first responder, and we want to stay in our lane. So I'm hoping that with grow that program, from that will eventually have a distribution centers where we can give out water. And then the very last is never talk about Rotary Foundation. But I'm not that guy that's going to talk to you and give money. I want to talk to you about Polio Plus. Polio Plus, I'm a category. Bill Gates generously signed up for another 3 years for up to $50 million. He will double that amount in an extra donation. So if we get $50 million, that's what's it's really great. Now the problem is with our membership going down the last 2 years, we haven't $50 million. So we've had to take money out of the annual fund and transfer it over because, if you're at $49 million, you're not going to leave $2 million up there. So what I'm asking for the people that do donate is just like I do. I donate the annual fund and Polio Plus. I transferred some money for the transfer percentage of money for the annual fund over Polio Plus to make sure that we get that money. So when you're looking at your finances and you're looking at what you do, that would be great. So that's my thought. So the greatest part about it is I'm hoping at the end of the year at the data exchange that I can come up and say thank you very much. We were very successful. Instead of I'm really sorry. So I got 4 months into it. We're not to that point yet. And the final thing, the World Health Organization had a quote that I wrote about it because I think it's our essence. It is Rotarians have the audacity to dream and the tenacity to bring to fruition. And I think that's what we're all about. So thank you very much for your time.
A lot of exciting things going on with the district. Hoping that you'll be able to join us here in a couple of months, give us an update, let us know what's going on and how these initiatives are going. That'd be good. I know, we'll get like the air book down to save the race. And Bob, do you have time to stick around after the meeting, have breakfast with us, and if anybody has any questions? Okay, fantastic. So Bob will be out there once for our business. If you have any questions regarding the district, please feel free to come out and ask Bob. Again, thank you for being here and giving us that update. Really appreciate it. Yeah, we're a little bit over, so I'm gonna try to shoot through the rest of this as quickly as I can. Real quickly, both myself and JR attended the Club Experience Summit Part 2 on Saturday. It was a real worthwhile event. Got a lot of great ideas. Jay's gonna be sharing some of that with the board next week. And then we'll kind of roll some things out to the club as we move forward, looking at growing our membership. The Cuyahoga Falls Rotary Club, as I was saying, is celebrating its 100th anniversary next month on Sunday, November 16th at 5 o'clock. It's going to be at the center, which is on Hudson Drive in Stow. I think it's the old Stow baseball. What's it called? Yeah, so it's a great facility. I believe it's just $65 per person, so it'd be great if some of us can attend that, just to show our support for our fellow Rotary Club. And then for next month, I believe we're going into November, so we only have 3 meetings next month. On November 5th, we will have Rick Schultz. He's the CEO of our Spectrum Surgical Instruments Corporation. Will be here at the auditorium for a presentation. On November 12th, we will be out in the dining hall for a fun Thanksgiving themed activity. On the 19th, we will have Evan. I'm gonna try to pronounce this. Pockets. I apologize if I butchered that. I'm sorry, but he's an author and he talks about blockchain technologies. We'll be here at the auditorium again. And then on the 26th, we will not have a meeting in service of Thanksgiving. Now, well, try not to cry when I tell you this, and this is going to be hard for you to hear, but I will not be here the next 2 weeks. I have a wedding down in Alabama for my nephew. So Gail, our beautiful and talented president-elect, has agreed to step into my place, and she'll be doing a meeting the next 2 weeks until so I hope you do it. I want to see it. But Gail, thanks very much for stepping in. Really do appreciate that. Now it's time for the Roto-Buck raffle. So we have a $10 today, jackpot of 167. Bye, Master. Why don't you come on up? Your closest one. All right, let's see what you got. Is 249. 249. Yes, 249. Say does anybody have 249? Right, well, we're gonna take another one then. Right. Okay. 490273. Rich, is that yours? Oh, no. Come on now. Oh, you were right next to it too. Very proud. Literally, it's the one next to the black marble. So. All right. Now maybe next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday is election day, right? Fantastic. Yeah. What's that? It's the cornerstone of our constitutional republic is that we have the right to decide our leaders and how our country and our state, city, local areas are run. So everybody get out and vote on Tuesday. And with that, I will end the meeting with our inspirational quote for the day. Where there's hope, there's light. It fills us with fresh courage and makes us strong again. And that's from Anne Frank, which was in A Diary of a Young Girl. With that, I will end our meeting. Bye.